Anyway, let's get straight to the Demill. So first things first, I want to get the barrel stub out of the trunnion. I need to order a barrel, and there's a slight issue with that right now, is that AKBuilder only has the oversized barrels that are nitrided, and I prefer nitrided because that's already done. I don't know what these are originally. It's probably not nitride, but that's fine with by me. But I want to get this off so I can check. So if anything's gonna work, it's this. So what I've got here is a screw with a nut on the end, and I've got paper towel on it to keep it from scratching. And I tightened it up on there. You can see that barrel pin right there. This may be a much better setup if it'll stay that way. So I've given up on the barrel pin for now. I think it's just too much slop. So I'm gonna move on to the rear sight base for now. I can use my press plate. I'll show you the setup when I get out there. So the press plate would end up here on this side of the pin. The bar would end up in between here. It's just barely big enough to fit here and clear the pin. So that's what I'm gonna do. So it's not straight, but that's how I have it. Essentially this bar goes part of the way, and you can see it's clearing that. The plate is supporting the opposite side. I just need to get this lined up right, and I think that'll work. And I do have this clamp because I need 3 hands to do this. Okay, so good news, this is working. I just hope my screw is the right size, but I think it is. It started going in, so, and it's going in more, so. And it's flaking off the threads, but that's fine. I guess it also would have helped if I hit the hole, because now my pin is embedded in my puck. That's fun. I was that close. There we go. It's really easy to bend whatever you're using. And now I have a problem. The screw is in there like a pin. Oops. And it came out with just a little tappy tap. So that's fine. That's off. I need to probably make a fixture for this to either that, or what I did with my Galil, and I wasn't super happy with the results because it left marks, was I took bars and just did like this and this, which, yeah, obviously it makes straight lines. I think part of the thing with that was I did the clamping wrong. I accidentally clamped on the barrel, and so I had to press a lot harder to get that out because I was stupid. But what I will say is on the barrel pin, I decided to buy AKBuilder tools. I didn't realize they made them. When I saw the barrel press kit on their website, I thought, oh, that's just like the TothTool. That's if you don't have a press, you can squeeze it together, because it had the little clampy thing, like the 2 parallel bars with screws in them. But no. But what it does come with is a press adapter that you can then take and put barrel pin size pins in there. So I'm going to buy their tools. And I'm also going to buy the trunnion support plate. Well, that comes with it, actually. Which is perfect because it supports this part of the trunnion and leaves the barrel pin hole clear. They also have something similar for the barrel. The rest of the barrel would be that way for the front sight and the gas block. So one more thing I would like to do, I don't have to do this, but I would like to take the rear sight leaf off just because it's getting in my way and I don't want to damage it. So apparently there's an easy way to do this. Essentially there's a channel in here. So if we're coming this way, there's a channel that goes down, and then there's a big hole and a little hole, and the spring will keep this pin-ish end of the sight leaf in the hole, the little hole. So basically what you have to do, you have to get this to go down into that channel on both sides, and then that way. And the way I saw it done was you basically put a rag over this so it doesn't go flying, and then you take a screwdriver right in this notch on the sight, and then you go bam, and it goes flying. So we're gonna try that. So I watched the video again. He actually said smack it with your hand. He didn't say smack it with a hammer. So this is what I'm gonna do, like that. And then actually I'm gonna wrap it a few times. And then he had it like this. I don't know if you need that. I guess you kind of do because it needs to go that direction. So I'll double that up. And then hopefully I can do this. Wow, that was so easy. Basically no damage or anything either, so just yeah, maybe a tiny bit of scratching, but that's not even bad. So yeah, I'd say that method works. Anyway, I just figured I would do that because this was getting in the way. So I got the AKBuilder tool. This is the press plate. You line up this part of the trunnion, the barrel pin underneath. I'm hoping you can see that. And then there's a collar that I'll put on in a second. I need to line this up to where it can actually get to this without the clamp being in the way. There we go. This one is actually, it's a little bigger, I think. It's a 1.6 inch ram is what it's designed for. This is a 1.5, it's just a weird press. Put the pin in there. You actually start with a shorter one than this to start your pin. I'm gonna actually have to move this plate and use this one instead. That's the only place I can clamp that, and it gets in the way. Essentially, made up your trunnion like that. And there is a little bit of alignment to do, I think, just to make sure that the barrel pin is not going to catch, which that looks like it would. So I think you shift it a little bit until it's all the way around, and then you clamp this down on the workpiece. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to loose clamp it for now because I just want it to not move. But basically, I'm going to try to get it centered over the hole in the plate. So that's, honestly, it really doesn't need to like hold it down because the plate is doing that. It's doing the supporting. What it really needs to do is just keep it from moving. So the good thing about this is, be careful, I can take this out. Sorry, it's kind of hard to show it. That's where my hole is, and that's perfect. I'm just gonna, it's kind of hard to show on camera, so I'm gonna just visually inspect to double check that the hole is lined up. And it is, so I'm gonna put this back. Now the only question is, can the press get to that? I think it can. This is a set screw. The little thingamajig set screw. You can see there is a gap, but it seems flat to me, best I can tell. Even with the bigger or the smaller ram. So now these might fall out. You can put grease on them if they keep falling out. But I'm just aligning for now, so I'm gonna get it lined up. I guess I don't need to do this with a long pin because I'm gonna be using the short pin anyway. Because basically what you do is you take the short pin first, because as everyone probably knows, if you try to, like I have been doing, which is dangerous, don't do that, use a long piece to press, it's gonna bend, and it's gonna, or if it doesn't bend, it's gonna get cocked in there and not go straight, and it's gonna fly off and hit something. So don't do that. Actually, you know what? This, I don't think it actually matters which way the barrel pin goes in. You know, these have two sides, and I don't know which side is which, if it matters. This one is more rounded, this one is more concave. I really don't think it matters. I feel like the rounded one would be better to get more contact. It's rounded on the outside, not the inside. I think I may need to switch to the other side. So I'd say that's lined up pretty darn good, as close as I can get. And so we're gonna start pressing. That moved. It's better than we got before. Yeah, it's going. So at this point, I'm gonna have to take that pin out. I'm not gonna lie though, this feels like magic and or cheating. This is probably the best this has ever gone. Clamp maybe a little bit. No, it's actually perfect. I probably could have gone up 2 sizes. This is pressing very easily. Yep, it's at the bottom. Super easy. I love it. There it is. Dude, that's so easy. Yeah, honestly, it's like that one first pop, and then it will go. It's easy after that. Anyway, barrel pin's out. Well, found it. Honestly, it doesn't look too bad, I guess. It feels smooth. I will definitely try to reuse it if I can get the pinhole on the new barrel drilled without going over, but I do have some oversized barrel pins in case that happens. Got the trunnion supported. These don't go all the way, but the screws are just to keep it from coming loose. Even if you spread it all the way, it would not come off. I do have some washers, because it was, the max that it could squeeze was a little bit iffy for me, where it's hanging on the edge, so I'll just make sure to squeeze these together when I get to it. And then we got the barrel ram, this notch for the extractor, kind of just sits there, and then you press on it until it comes out. Oh yeah, these, this one and this one is because this washer is a little bit too big, so it's kind of, it would not sit flat if I didn't do that. I just don't have good washers to do that with, and it's supposed to sit like that, and that's why, because that washer sits not flat. I did also put some paper towels in between on the rear sight block, just in case that decides to scrape. Hey, there we go. It's working. Okay, yeah, don't set things on there. That's what all that noise is. One thing I did do is put a box under there to try to catch it, like that. That's loud. I don't like it. I'm not sure if this will go all the way. We'll see. Maybe? Yeah, I think so. Perfectly executed. Nice. This was great. No damage that I could tell at all. So that worked good. Now, removing the rear sight block is going to be a totally different animal because I need to push this out while keeping this stationary. And the best way to do that is to have something round around here, but oops, that's flat. So I would need like a washer that's that diameter, but cut so that it can go about this far. You know, I guess the cop-out way to deal with this would be cut the barrel off here very carefully, obviously, and then use the flat part to press it off. You could do that, and that doesn't help you, like say you press the sight block on too far. So the plan is, I think I want to use this washer, split it in half, or nearly in half. Yeah, in half, to get it to go around the rear sight block. This journal, as best I could, it's about 0.69. I also measured it on one of my Romanian kits. That's just I think it's the MD63 is the fixed stock with the dong. So 762 by 39 AKM profile barrel. They're the same. So if I make this tool for one, it should work for both. Either way, I have a box of these. I can make more. I thought about drilling that into this block, but I think that's a bit much. I'm going to try this first. That's easier. So I don't have to drill a giant hole in a chunk of steel that might be too hard for the bits that I have. So I'm going to try this first and see where we get. And here it is, the final result. It's just about perfect. Goes right over there. And it does not quite hit the top of the sight block, which is fine. And it doesn't really matter anyway, because now that I think about it, because it's not what's moving. But I'd rather have it only contact places that it needs to contact. So I'm gonna go use that. Okay, it's going straight. I'm just kind of worried that the washer might not be enough support and it might bend. It's bending. Shoot. Well, that didn't work. So the 11/16 drill bit that I just ordered, I can drill a slot here for this guy. And as you can see, this it actually kind of almost has to, there we go, like that. Fits pretty good as far as I can tell. It might not be exactly perfect in there, and it's a very tight fit. I have to like very much wobble that off, and it kind of doesn't go this way, it only goes the other way. So I'm happy with that. If I ever find a need to extend this or like widen it to make it wider, I'll do that for another build, but for now this is perfect. All right, what I have is these two blocks. They don't have the bolts. They're supporting the plate, and the U is in the center of the ram. And so what I've got here, and it's clamped also so it doesn't move. And so I basically put this in here. That, and I did check, the barrel is all the way flush with that, and there's still some wiggle room, so our measurements were good. And I'm just going to hold this straight and then get it set real quick. Not sure how straight that is. Probably as good as we're gonna get. So success, it's moving. It's gonna do that a few more times. There we go. That is excellent. it's off. And we caught it in our handy dandy catch box. So we have barrel stub number 2, or well, complete barrel stub number 1. Awesome. Yeah, one last thing, no damage on here whatsoever. So that support block that I just made did its job. Figured I'd start doing some of the rest of the Demill. This should be the easiest one. Just take a file or a Dremel, get rid of some of this. And what do you know? I didn't actually have to do anything to get this off. It turns out if I just have it all the way, or this way, it just I did it a second ago. What in the world? I swear I had this off, and I put it back on for the video, and now it won't come back off. There we go. See if I can get these pins out with just a hammer and a punch. Yeah, I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. Don't do that. If it doesn't move, don't use a hammer and punch, because that, and now that on the other side, it looks bad. So don't do that. Not super confident in this, but yeah, that was afraid of that. Ugh. I honestly think my last resort at this point is just using this kind of punch so it doesn't bend. That might actually get it. It's slightly, I want to say it's slightly moved, maybe not. So if that doesn't work, I'm gonna have to figure something else out. And what do you know, it budged. Yeah, so that's the 2 pins out, and I just realized I have no idea how I'm gonna get that front sight off, because there is actually that's the barrel. Okay, never mind. I'll just press very carefully on the end of the barrel. I was thinking that was part of the muzzle device. So this is what I got situated for pushing out the barrel from the sight. I've got my barrel press plate. I've got a screw going down the barrel to make it flat. And then I've also got a washer that's also a little big, but it's not. It's a tiny bit smaller than that hole, so it should help step it a little bit. Then I'm going to use one of my 1/4-inch rods in the AKBuilder jig to push that thing, and if I need any more distance, which I probably will, I'll use a bolt. Okay. I can use this one now. There it is. Just like that. So next we got these pins. Should be about the same, I would think. Just need to line it up and smack them real good. That's on there pretty good. So I was going to go get some nail sets to try and use on this, but I found the next best thing that I already have, which is, I forgot about, is these air hammer bits. They're just barely about the right size, so I might use this with a big old hammer to try and get the pin moving, and that's probably the best chance of getting this with a hammer. If that doesn't work, I may try this on the press. We'll see. Man, I don't know. The whatchamacallit, the nail sets may be the best option. Okay, well that pin moved. I could go a tiny bit more, but I don't want to get it stuck. Let's do it. So now I have more things to add to my pile of shame. I almost want to say I'm surprised, but I'm kind of not, just because tall things like that are not meant to be pressed, and I really probably need to get one of those rods that will fit in the AKBuilder jig and grind it down to a point on the end so it can fit in there. I mean, it's a partial success. I got one moving, and hopefully that'll be enough to free it up to beat out with a hammer at least. We'll see about that. I'm not super confident in that either. Use this flared punch for that. I'm gonna give it a shot at least. If I can get one pin out, I'll be happy today. At this point, it's getting a little bit ridiculous. I think someone who assembled this just did not drill a big enough hole and just pressed them in anyway, and I am mad at them right now. I'm very upset, because that is insane how yeah, it's too big. That is insane how much these do not want to move. I tried PB Blaster, and then I tried beating it out with a punch, and I finally broke one of these punches. Good thing about that is, aside from the downside of being short a size on punches now, I now have a starter punch. Oh, it drove it out almost all the way. I could go a little more till I get my punch stuck. Ah. Almost all the way out now. Okay. Oh, there it is. Oh, thank goodness. Next up, the other one. This pin is a piece of crap. Now I've got the, pretty sure I have the head mushroomed. And I don't even know where the actual hole is anymore. Well, shoot, I just bent my tool. So, since that didn't work, and I broke my tool, I'll make another one eventually. But for now, I would like to try the other side of the pin to see if I can get it to move, but I seriously doubt it. You know what we might have to do? I might have to drill the tip of the pin to get a good seat on it, and then punch it. That may be what I have to do. I hate to do that, but I'm marring up my freaking gas block and mushrooming the pin head, just trying to punch it, and I can't. Not exactly center, but it's close enough. This has the potential to mess up my gas block, I know. So much for that. Okay, that might actually help a little bit. Okay, so what I've got here is a basic setup. I got it lined up as flat as I could on the mill slash drill press. I honestly am not entirely sure if this is going to work, but because these holes are not drilled straight, at least not straight to this. As you can see, this is straight. I put it in the existing hole. This is straight. So they didn't drill it like this, they drilled it like this. And so honestly, that I don't think that's straight for this next hole. It's gonna be kind of hard to line up. I don't know how that somehow lines up. It does not eyeball that lines up that way. I see it on the corner. So if I track the corner on this and on the bottom, I can tell. If I track it there, okay, yeah, that's not lined up for this hole anymore. That's probably about as straight as it's gonna get, which is actually mostly straight with this. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I may ruin this gas block doing this, but I cannot get the pin out any other way. This is my last resort, basically. Just barely enough support for it right here. So this bit likes to chatter. I forgot to record, but it sounds really bad. But it's kind of doing it. Might also be destroying the drill bit. Okay, I have not looked yet. I've saved it for right now. I probably shouldn't have gone all the way through. I probably should have done one side then the other, but it was so much annoyingness to set up that I just left it and went all the way. So this is still hot. Got the metal shavings all over it. And, okay, that actually, I might have drilled it off center a little bit. It's hard to tell. So this is the top side, which is fine. This is the bottom side, which I went through. That looks like maybe the remnant of the pin. Or it could be where I drilled and mushroomed into it. I'm not sure. But, that's okay. Yeah, I definitely went off sideways quite a bit. Not the worst thing in the world. So, yeah, I'm having a really hard time telling if that's the pin. And now that I have it drilled through, can I just press this off, or do I need to go in there and like try to get the rest of the pin out in case it's there? I'm not really sure. One thing I'm not sure about is how to go about pressing this off. The one video I saw on YouTube of someone else doing it, which would probably work if easily if I had done the pin normally, is to just pretend this was the press plate and there was a cutout here, even just a V cutout it looked like. He put it here, pressed it off. I'm hoping that'll work. I'm just hoping that something will work, because from what I've read, these gas blocks are, proprietary is not the right word, they're specific to the AIMS-74. Their regular AKM profile, as far as having a diagonal hole through here, even though the gas block hole you drill straight up and down. But I believe it's either the cleaning rod or something, because people were saying you can get an AKM gas block, you just won't be able to do something with it. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was either the cleaning rod, might have been the barrel journal, I don't remember. Oh yeah, the other thing I did here was I filed down, because you see how on this side it's still got the buildup and the slag from the cutting. I filed it down so that can just slide off if it comes off. So one thing I'm seeing is that this little cutout that I made for the rear sight block might actually kind of work for this, because I'm not super hopeful on that. I don't like it, but it's better than the alternative, which would probably also work, but I don't like that much better. It also has the potential to come off just like this plate. I feel like I have a slightly better grip with this one. Just have to be careful. Okay, it wants to lean this way. Nope. So after none of that worked, it just could not stay straight. And part of it may have been because this isn't totally flat. Maybe if I took the time to mill this flat, maybe it would work, but I don't want to do that. I have an idea. As you can see, PVC pipe just fits over on that side. I'm gonna have to take the file to these pieces a little bit, but I think I can get a piece of PVC pipe to fit over that end. And then I might be able to beat it off of the barrel stub. This flat, yeah, I could put this flat, put the pipe and go boom, 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 until it comes off. We'll see about that. Not too sure. That's actually a perfect fit now that I've got these edges filed smooth. Just like that. Let's see what happens. Okay, good news. I've made some progress. I actually flipped my idea on its head. What I did was I took, instead of hammering the block off with PVC pipe like this, I flipped it around, used that to support the block, and hammered on this end of the barrel stub, and that started moving it, as you can see. There's a little sliver of the pin left. And I actually ended up doing it on the concrete floor with this on the floor, this in here, and just whack, whack, whack. That started moving it, so that's good. That's probably what I should have done with the pins to get them out, was because that's what a lot of people said is The workbench absorbs a lot of the force, which now that I have done this on the concrete, I can see exactly how much. I was like, it can't be that bad as long as you're hitting it hard enough with the hammer. But apparently I am wrong, and I should not be surprised at this point that I was wrong about something. Anyway, not sure exactly what to do with that little sliver of a pin. I may poke in there and see if I can get it, because what I do not want is, what I'm afraid of is this little sliver is gonna end up caught in between the gas block and the barrel, and it's gonna cause it to become stuck, and I'm gonna have to use a massive amount of force in order to get the stub free, and it's gonna damage something in the process. So okay, yeah, there we go. That little sliver is coming out. The other thing I was gonna say, the reason I think these pins may have been so tight is, it's too late to show it now, but when I was looking at the holes, one of these sides looked like the cut in the barrel was not totally lined up with the cutout in the gas block. So what I think maybe happened is maybe it didn't fit properly, and they had already pinned it, and then to fix it, which I've heard people do, like if you misalign something, is to take the barrel in a vise and whack this with a hammer until it fits, which is going to wreak havoc on your pins, but which is, I want to say that's what I was dealing with. So, tangent aside, let's see if we can get this thing all the way out. There. This is out. Wow, that is a messed up pin right there, which of course is because I did that. So yeah, because of that, I obviously wallowed out the pinhole pretty bad. We'll check it out later. It's probably gonna, I think I egged it this axis because it looks like, so as long as we do this one well and then get this one still tight with the barrel, I think we'll be okay. It might just look funny, but I'm not opposed to things looking funny as long as they are still functional. So let me take you to the ground. It is moving. And I also got a shard from the hammer in my hand. That's cool. You know what? I'm not going to use a hammer on this. Why don't I use the press? Yeah, that doesn't want to work. Probably gonna have to go back to the hammer. So it's almost out. I need to do something so I don't hit the gas block. I might give it a couple more whacks, get it about this far. Once it gets that far, I need to be careful though. Okay, got this pretty smooth. Let's see if I can get it to go all the way off. Perfect. That's the sound I like to hear. Heck yeah. While I'm here, I'm just gonna look at the inside. Looks fine to me. I don't see anything to worry about. Yeah, I'm amazed that that came out without damage, honestly. All right, next up, we're gonna demill the front trunnion from the old receiver stub, as well as the rear trunnion. And in order to do that, I'm gonna give the AKBuilder rivet demilling tool another shot. I didn't have any luck with it before, but I'm gonna try it again. It's basically that tool with a 5/32 bit, and you just hold onto the tool, and you set. I've already set the depth, because you don't want to go too far, and then you punch them out. So I'm gonna give it a shot, see how it works. If not, we'll just go back to the old method of using the mill and or a drill. So that actually sounded like it cracked loose. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell since you're not drilling through the entire thing, but as far as I can tell, that's probably good. And if I have issues, I'll change my depth. Oh, that is something to consider. This side fully encapsulates these rivets. This side does not. It's made for a smaller rivet, like these swell neck rivets. Yeah, that's the downside of that jig, so be careful. Let's see if these will punch out. Okay, yeah, I think I'm not quite through yet, so I'm gonna drill a little bit more and then come back. Okay, yeah, this one's going. I think I just needed to maybe not hit it on a surface that has any give, which wood does as well, but I was already compounding this on top of this on top of this, so, and it's also a different punch, so. But yeah, as you can see, the head part already came off, so it's just a matter of punching it. There we go. One is out. No. Well, there goes that punch. I didn't like that one anyway. This one just does not want to come out. Well, I've got cardboard smushed into this side, but I might as well give it a try. Okay, I drilled these some more. We'll see if we get anywhere. This one I had some chatter, and I don't think I went as far. I think I need to. Yeah, so that did it. That basically, it did the spinny thing again, which, yeah, dangerous, I know. And took the head off of that. Got my tool stuck on the drill bit for a second, but that means our rivet should pop out easily. There we go. Okay, now that we have that, should be able to like that, pop off the front trunnion. And yes, no damage whatsoever. Cool. Yeah, officially, yes, you should clamp this. I'm just going by what AKBuilder shows in their video. This is what they show to do. And I'm almost done. Next time I'll rig up a way to clamp it, but I'm almost done with this, so not gonna do that right now. Okay, I don't know how much luck I'm gonna have with just punching these out, but that's what I need to do somehow. All right, new strategy. I'm basically gonna demolish the rivet heads with a bigger drill bit. See? And that rivet head is basically almost entirely gone. So I did a little bit more with the big bit. This head is pretty much gone. It's just the rivet left. And I took a smaller bit on the inside of both to try to get what looks like possibly the last bit of rivet. But it should be pretty much gone at this point. Okay, I think it's loose from here. It just needs to punch through. This one as well. I might need to peel this off so I can get to the last bit of it. Probably should just take the Dremel and cut this off. Okay, I got it bent. Opposing pliers worked just fine. I'm just a wimp. This one looks okay. If maybe I could drill a little bit out. This one looks a tiny bit mushroomed. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill out a tiny bit on there because these are wider than the other ones. And I think that might be, no, that's not rivet head in there. I'm not sure. I drilled a little bit more into them. I don't know if that's gonna help or not. What I'm thinking is that I'm gonna have to do this either in the press or in the vise because I just can't hammer on these hard enough. Yes. That's where you go. You know what though? This is a rivet of that size. What's left of these is still a lot bigger, so I think they are mushroomed out and the head is still too big. Or maybe that's how they squish. I don't know, but they really don't want to move. I drilled some more in and they look much closer to the correct diameter. They're like well within the hole as well. So I should, in theory, be able to punch these out. So none of this is working. I tried it here on this metal plate. I tried it with the metal plate on the concrete. Nothing. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is take these heads off, pull this whole piece off, and then see where I'm at from there. I may have to drill some through it and then punch it out. We'll see. I really hate this right now though. So it's off the receiver scrap at least. I started with the jig up here, and then I went to the hand drill to drill out until it reached a point to where it disconnected the head. One popped off, the other I had to kind of wiggle back and forth, but we'll see where we can get from here. Honestly, not entirely sure. I honestly don't know if that's doing anything. So the only thing I know to do is to drill it, and basically that's what I'm gonna do. So after the end mill, I'll probably just put a drill bit in there and in that same exact spot and see if I can go all the way. Okay, so if you even see any of the previous nonsense that I've been doing, what it boils down to, according to people who have done this a lot more than I have, is you have two options. You typically have to drill out these rear trunnion holes. Good luck knocking them out, basically, at least with a punch and a hammer. Another option, which I might do still, according to Ronan, who he makes some gun parts. Like I got a grip from him, a US made grip for my Galil. But he also has a few articles on building, and he has one on removing or demilling rivets from a parts kit. And his other suggestion, besides drilling out slightly undersized and then punching the shell of the rivet out, is taking a pneumatic impact tool and basically drilling and putting a 1/8 inch dowel pin at the end of it and using that to go brrrt and get it out. And I like that idea. And so I think I'm going to do that for the second one because it's still in there. This one I'm almost all the way through. I just need to get through that misdrilled hole there and we'll be good to go. So I finally got through it with the drill bit. I think I might have accidentally said 5/16. It's more like a 5/32. Now comes the fun part where I get to try to punch out that little sleeve of a rivet. I think I did a pretty good job of keeping it straight. But for sure, the next one, I'm gonna make the tool that Ronan made, and I'm just gonna go brrrt. Well, that is also not working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this drill bit, which is this big. The rear trunnion rivet is ever so slightly bigger. So that should pretty much drill it out to the size of the rear trunnion rivets. It's a pretty straight hole, to be honest. This one, I still am going to give it a shot with the air hammer once I make that tool. So it's actually a slightly larger bit that I need, larger than the rivet. That's like 6 or 7 thousandths over. And here we have something strange indeed. Here's the rivet. It's drilled out, which could possibly mean that I've drilled a little bit much on the hole. Hopefully not, but we'll see. All right, let's find out. Just gonna push the gunk out first, I'm assuming. that doesn't seem too bad. It's a little bit loose, but I think it's supposed to be a little bit loose. You know what I'll do? I'll check a different parts kit to see the fit of the same new rivet. So I checked this against another kit that I have, which was a very nice matching Romanian MD-63, which is a fixed stock with the dong. It has some slop. It has not as much here. It has a similar amount here. This one definitely has more slop, but that tells me that some slop is okay. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm tempted to just drill this one, but I could make a tool. I need to dig out my air bits and see which ones I have left that I can cannibalize. So what I have is this. These are actually 4mm. I believe I got these for pin stock in case I needed pins, or actually as alignment, in case I wanted to try to use this to align, I believe, the rear sight block pin. That's actually perfect for what I need. It's a little better than 1/8 of an inch. It's thicker. I need to find one that will make a press fit hole for this, and then cut off maybe, do I want to do the whole thing? Maybe this much, so that I have enough to go in there and enough to press into the tool. So I got my tool. Hopefully get these out, and I'll just be very careful and go burp, burp, burp. And hopefully this won't wiggle itself loose. Yeah, it's not working really. I mean, it might be because this piece, leftover part of the head, is starting to come off, but I don't see any sign of it coming out the other side, so maybe I need to go the other way. Regardless, I don't think this is working too well. Okay, quick update on this. I've got this hole drilled about halfway through, maybe a little more. You can't see it because the light, but the way I've been able to line it up on here, and this might be specific to this vise, but if you look at it, it's got this gap here for some reason. I don't know why. And so if I just clamp the trunnion here and hold it flat, which does work, by the time I clamp it here, it's hitting that and it's no longer flat. So I had it with this also not flat, this bar, piece of flat stock, I guess, and then the trunnion pressed against that to keep it flat. And I did bring this bar up a little bit as well, so it wasn't also sitting on that divot. Anyway, drilling seems to be working fairly well. The impact didn't work so good. The one thing I didn't do with that, however, that Ronan did, was he said he drilled a small hole first, and I forgot to do that. That could be why. I don't know what size that hole is, but I think it's the same size as that rod. So it's just gonna get stuck in there if it doesn't work. I don't know, maybe I'll drill it a little bit bigger and try it, but I might as well, since I already have it here and I have it drilled straight, I might as well finish it with the drill. I got a pretty good guide hole there. I'll finish it with the drill, and hopefully the same thing will happen. I'll have enough of a sleeve for it to just come out on its own. Kind of unrelated, but I'm a little bit disappointed in myself because this is from clamping it when I was trying to use the air hammer, and even though the jaws are aluminum, they still took off the finish, and oh well, it's just gonna be like that, I guess. Same thing on the other side. I think we're about right here. What we have is basically a sliver. And I could probably punch that out with a punch. I managed to drill that pretty much straight through the middle somehow. Yeah, I'd say that pretty much does it as far as pretty well centered. Obviously one side not so much, but that's pretty good for drilling straight through all the way. I'll just need to get the rest of it out. There we go. Rear trunnion rivet number 2. Okay, not quite perfectly centered. A little bit, I mean, it was straight. I'll give it that. One little tiny little edge holding on that side. And the trunnion itself, it may not have even actually drilled through the trunnion at all and egged it. It may have honestly, it may have just drilled through that side of the rivet and been done with it. Let's check with a rivet really quick. This, you know what? This one is actually a lot better than the first one. That's more like the fit that it should be. This will still work. It's not so bad that it's not going to work, but this one is much better. So I'm happy that I have at least one that turned out better. Awesome. I do believe, unless I completely forgot something, that this entire kit is fully demilled now and ready to build. Okay, I was wrong. I forgot about the trigger guard. I still need to demill that. It's going to be a little trickier. I can't just go drilling on these rivets. So what I'll probably have to do is find a way to get in here with a Dremel, maybe. I might have room for that. Or if I can maybe remove part of these and be able to get it to it from the top, I can take a mill and mill it off. I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Also, while we're here, notice the double humps and the single cut for the single hook trigger. That's a couple things to note. If you order a receiver from Childers, you have them as options to make it correct. It's surprisingly hard to tweak this. You would have to really try to accidentally do it. That's working. That actually might almost be enough. This end mill is way too big for that, but I could probably use this to get in there. I could probably get this one. Not quite this one. I'm gonna have to bend it some more. The problem is this rail here, or reinforced part of the rail, is not welded here, it's welded here. So when I bend this out, this ends up bending out further. So it's kind of messing things up. Just pry. That's probably about as much as I'm comfortable bending anyway, because at some point this is going to bend, and I don't want that to bend, and I don't want this to bend. So that's 2 done. I found that I can basically just jam it down on top. I think we're good, boys and girls. It's just a little bit finicky to try to get the mill to come down on these sections specifically, because they're sticking out and they're not supported well. You know what? I think we actually do need to go some more on all of them except for this one. Yeah, I'd say that turned out pretty good. You can see the, just barely, you can see the rivet shanks. Like right here you can kind of see, right here you can kind of see, right here, and right here. It's a little hard to see. Well, that's one way to do it. Don't recommend though. All right, now that that's kind of taken care of, our next step is to punch these out. Yeah, that's just gonna keep doing that. What I might have to do is drill these out. So far, not good. Yeah, so this might do it. Let's see if I can punch these out. It's not an easy way. This one I've heard something happen, so I think this one is on its way. Maybe if I just drill the rest of it out with the hand drill, that might do it. And we're through. There's actually still some rivet in there, so I think we did that one pretty darn well. Sorry, I didn't show that. Drilled straight through. The other four, I'm not entirely sure how straight of a shot I did. This one looks pretty bad. I don't think I centered it. See, I wasn't sure how much of it was the mushroomed head and how much of it was the actual part of the rivet, and I think I definitely didn't do a good job on this one. So, not absolutely horrible. This one is good. This one is way off. This one is way off. This one's way off. So, I did not do a good job at drilling through the center. unfortunately. Not sure how I'm gonna get these out still. That doesn't really change a whole lot. Do I just drill a little bit more? Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I might actually be onto something there. The drill bit I had been using is slightly under the rivet size, and these are squished rivets. So this seems like slightly over, so this might actually be the correct size. There we go. That's my problem. I'm just using the wrong size drill bit. Okay, cool. There's another one. It's actually not as bad as I thought, but that one was one of the good ones. So overall, not horrible, but not great either. It's not too good of a centered rivet. Not centered at all, really. This is very slightly starting to move, so maybe I can wiggle it, pry it off, like I tried before. Just carefully though. Yeah, just a little. There we go. And I should be able to just maybe... There we go. Oh gosh, that one is really bad. The others are actually kind of fine. This one's ovaled a little bit. This one's really ovaled, but it shouldn't affect anything. It doesn't look too bad. It's just this one is really bad. Yay, it's demilled, finally. Now we can build it.